Welcome back to 40 Days with Henry. Today's passage is for March 27th. It is called Living Faithfully in an Ambiguous World. Now, I will say, just before we begin, obviously we missed yesterday, which is the 26th, because we don't do these on Sundays. If you don't have the book, I just want to let you know. So March 26th, the title given to March 26th is Becoming Friends of Our Children. And so there was the couple days where Nouwen talked a lot about friendship, and where he ends up ending was about how the call to robust, deep spiritual friendship, receiving somebody else in hospitality and all that stuff, and he kind of lands with that within children, and what it means to be a friend to children, or to our children and our family. So if you have the book, go back and read that page. But I just wanted to offer, for those who don't have that book, that's where he lands. But today, living faithfully in an ambiguous world. Henry writes, "Our hearts and minds desire clarity. We'd like to have a clear picture of a situation, a clear view of how things fit together, and clear insight into our own world and the world's problems. But just as in nature, colors and shapes mingle without clear-cut distinctions, human life doesn't offer the clarity we are looking for. The borders between love and hate, evil and good, beauty and ugliness, heroism and cowardness, care and neglect, guilt and blamelessness are mostly vague, ambiguous, and hard to discern. It's not easy to live faithfully in a world of ambiguities. We have to learn to make wise choices without needing to be entirely sure." So the first thing that kind of popped into my head as I was reading this passage is Palm Sunday. Palm Sunday is April 2nd, which is the next coming Sunday, and that might be why I'm thinking about it. But so in our tradition, on Palm Sunday, we do kind of two things. We have the procession, the triumphal procession, the triumphal entry, and so we recognize the story of Jesus come riding into Jerusalem, and everybody waving palm branches in the air and saying, "Save us, Hosanna, Hosanna, save us." It is this recognition that Jesus is King, and so as a congregation, we raise palms and we say, "Hosanna, save us." It's this wonderful triumphant moment. But in the Anglican tradition, in our service on Palm Sunday, we also read the Passion narrative. And so we have this moment where the same congregation, just like it was the same crowd, all of a sudden start crying out, "Crucify, crucify, crucify him." And every single year, in every single church that I've been in, there's always a certain amount of discomfort with that. Like, what does it mean to say, "Save us," and then "Crucify, crucify," the same person to say that? And sometimes we try to say, no, I will never say that. We try to have this sense of certainty, that this is the way of faith. This is what it's like. And yet the dynamic of the same person saying, "Save us," and "Crucify." Save me, but do it my way, right? Like it's a messy dynamic of our lives. And I think that's a little bit of what he's trying to tease out here. Living faithfully in an ambiguous world. That whenever we try to hold up a certainty, some sort of certainty as it, then we are getting dangerously close to idolatry. I think this is kind of what he's trying to get at, right? Human life is messy. And the church is messy. And Christian life and Christian faith is messy. And so as Nouwen says, the borders between love and hate and evil and good and beauty and ugliness, heroism and cowardice, care and neglect, guilt and blame, like all of this kind of bleeds together. And because we're a community of people, the fact is we're not always going to see the same way. And so as we go forward in our faith, it's important to recognize that in some sense we stumble about. And that's okay. You know, I write a lot about spiritual discouragement. And I have, every once in a while, people say to me, or they comment to me about people having a hard time and maybe having questions in their faith or maybe having doubts. And somebody will email me and say, well, they just need to believe in Jesus more. Or something like that. It's not helpful. It's not helpful. And, you know, and underneath that comment, they just need to believe, or they just need to do this, or this is the certain way, is this kind of humble brag that, well, I've never had any doubts, and I've never struggled in my faith. So, and if that's true, good for you. But the fact is that a lot of people do. A lot of people stumble about in their faith, and a lot of people have ambiguities. And a lot of people kind of go forward in the hope that we're going closer to Jesus because that's where my heart is directed, but I still have a lot of questions I don't have answers to. And I still don't know exactly how everything works out. And I still don't know exactly what it means to reach out to this person over here that I don't like, and what it means to love this person over here who is directly opposite of who I am. Faith is messy, but that's okay, because Jesus called us to live and to follow him in the midst of it, in the midst of that messiness. And so I like here that, you know, there's not a whole lot of profound, I would say, truth beyond just that simple recognition. You know what? It's not easy. It's not easy to live faithfully in a world full of ambiguities. And so in the end, we just need to trust that Jesus guides us, that the Spirit leads us, and that we can go forward even in uncertainty. I hope that reflection blesses you, particularly if you're going through a time of uncertainty in your life. God bless you as you continue on in your journey of Lent, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.